All right, let's see. What have we left here that we haven't looked at? Now here's a couple things I won't spend a lot of time talking about, but just in case you weren't aware, these are fruits. Cucumber and a red pepper. Hello, fish. These are fruits because they are fleshy covering of seed, and that's how botany defines fruit. So anything that contains seeds is technically a fruit. All right, now here's an interesting one. This, probably recognize that, that is called a coconut. This, by the way, is not what coconuts look like when they're on the tree. This is actually the inside of a coconut. This started out being a much larger green or yellow thing, and that whole part was peeled off with a machete, leaving this. When you buy, if you buy Thai coconuts, from stores in the U.S., where you've got a cone on top and a round, what do you call that shape?
Cylinder.
Thank you. A cylinder with a cone on top. That same thing, that's been cut from a much larger coconut. The problem is, when you take the outside off, it's no longer completely impervious to air. Air can still get in. And so, when you were drinking coconuts at the very beginning of your feeding 3 weeks ago, we probably threw a few away, didn't we? Because they can't sit very long once they've been peeled, which is what they call this, without going bad. Because even though it's completely sealed, nothing's coming out. It's not really completely sealed. It can be affected by air. Where if this was complete, it would typically last a long time. Eventually, it's not going to be good, but it's going to last a much longer time with the whole outside. So this, by the way, there isn't a lot of agreement on this. Some people say it's a fruit. I don't really understand that argument. It looks like a nut to me. Okay, it's the seed of a fruit, of a tree. It's the seed of a tree, and it's edible, but it's not a seed that's surrounded by flesh like most fruits are. Like the pineapples have little seeds in them. The pies have seeds in them. The mango has a seed in it. Well, there's some flesh in here, but it's not surrounding the seed. It's inside, just like in a nut. You have to open it up to get to the meat. It's a nut, I think, but here we are. We have to have something we can argue about, right? Let me show you. I don't have any passion fruits, but I have a passion fruit cousin. Are you familiar with passion fruits in St. Thomas? You get those?
Definitely.
Okay. You know what this is?
No.
This is native to Colombia, and it was so frustrating. In Panama, I could get these, but only at the grocery stores, only at the high-priced. I forget what they would charge per pound for these, but it was outrageous. This, at my guy in town, this cost about 30 cents. In Panama City, I might pay $1. Right? And I'd eat 15 of these. Like $15 meal. That's an expensive meal here in Central America, right? So this is a passion fruit family member, and it grows on a vine, just like passion fruit does. It has amazing flowers. Passion fruit flowers are about this big, white flowers with a purple center, and they're gorgeous. Well, the granadilla, which is what this is called, and there's actually another member that's also called the granadilla. It's a big family of plants, some of which fruit, some of which no. But they all have these spectacular flowers. The flower of this plant, I'm thinking of the other granadilla. I haven't actually seen this one growing yet, so I don't know. We had another fruit called a granadilla, about this big, at my place in Panama. We had put in maybe 75 vines, and in the dry season, we weren't there, but we would have had tons of fruit. Like now, there's probably tons of fruit. It's been 2 or 3 years since those vines went in. That arbor is going to be covered with fruit. It's amazing. Those are big fruits, like this. And those flowers look like the passion fruit flowers, but they're all purple and just beautiful. This, what you can do here, I buy these, I've never picked them off the tree. They've always been ready to eat. So I'm not really sure how it would change, okay, to be honest with you. But to eat this, I'll demonstrate this for you. You can just stick your thumb in there, okay? pull it open, and it's almost got like a foam in there, right? There's this layer inside. It's kind of funky. And you open this up, there's a little sack with seeds and some liquid. And it's really sweet. And so this is one where you're eating the flesh and the liquid around the seeds. You swallow the seeds. You don't chew very many up. It'd be hard to do because they have that jelly-like coating like a tomato seed or a cucumber seed. So just like those fruits, you eat this, you swallow the seeds. You eat a tomato, you swallow the seeds. It's no problem. The seeds go right through your system. You don't digest them. It's no problem. Same with this. What I would do here is I'd make a hole with my finger. I'd separate the outside so it's all loose from the skin, and then I just tip it back and suck it down. Since I've opened this one, I'll go ahead and if you guys want, I mean, it's a little close to mealtime, but why don't you go ahead and take just a little tiny bit like this. You can taste it.
It's the same for a passion fruit, isn't it?
Except that it's all the same, except that passion fruit, it doesn't have the spongy layer inside, and passion fruit is pretty acidic, right? Less so as it ripens, but still pretty acidic. This has very little acid to it, more sweet. You like that? Not a fan. I love it. Like I said, I could eat about 15 of these.
Not sweet enough.
Second, not sweet enough for you. Okay. Well, everything can't be as sweet as I am, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the grenadilla. And let's see, what else do we have? We have bananas. Let's take a look at some bananas. Now, these bananas, you guys, as you know, people watching may not know, you guys don't get bananas here. While you're refeeding, I don't give you bananas. Why not?
Oh, talented.
Hi, everyone's got grenadilla in their mouth. Because we're looking for stuff that has high water content, and the papayas and mangoes and pineapples and watermelons have 25-30% more water than a banana does. So I don't serve a lot of bananas. I buy them every week, and then I usually toss them away because I don't eat them very often either. Okay, so I'm just not, it's not something I'm really that attracted to most of the time. And so these are a little past their prime. I mean, there's some bruises. This is a bruise. But this is what you're actually looking for, especially in North America and Europe. It's a little different here. Sometimes here a banana will be perfectly yellow without much spots, and it'll be perfectly ripe and ready to eat. But you're not going to see them that way in the U.S. Okay, in the U.S., before it's ready to eat, they've got to have these spots on them. It should be very easy to peel, right? And the rest you probably know. What I thought I would show you though today, let's see if we can, we don't have a lot of light here tonight. We're in a place that's not all that well lit. A banana has a fairly light colored flesh. This is in the family, and again, most people watching have probably only seen a few different kinds of bananas. But there's about 325 varieties in the banana family. This is actually in the plantain family, and this is called, here they call this a quadrado. A quadrado means square. And you can see it has, it has corners to it, unlike a regular banana, like most plantains. And so, I'm even less of a fan of these personally, frankly, but they were a gift from a friend. This is a pretty similar color, but it's a little bit more yellow. Okay, this one, a little bit more yellow, the quadrado. And then we have what they call here a date banana. And there are different names in different places. And this is actually a fairly large one. Sometimes they're much smaller than this. Sometimes they're only about this big. Let's peel one of these. And again, a little bit of comparison. It's hard to see here with the light, but again, it's a little bit more yellow than this. And this banana, true to its name, is very sweet. Much sweeter than the regular banana. Okay. By the way, this is the same variety of banana that people are buying in the U.S. It's much smaller. It's much smaller, out the window, because the ones that are exported are hybridized to be larger. Same species, but they're hybrids, and they want them to grow as big as possible because I guess that's what people want. And it's funny because here you can go into the local shops and you'll see these, what they call criolla bananas, the native bananas, and then you'll see bananas, they'll say in Spanish, bananas for exportation. And they'll be the same Dole or whoever it is, you know, the same thing, but twice the size easily and half the taste. I mean, these are much, much better, which is why I never bring the other ones home. Okay, these are going to be much tastier if you can get them. And finally, this is a banano manzano. This is an apple banana. And in the U.S., in Whole Foods sometimes, in other specialty shops sometimes, you might see these. But this one, if I can pull some of the other ones back up there, you'll see a distinct difference in the color, I think. You see how much whiter that is? Much whiter. Right? I'm not sure if the camera's going to see this. It's going to be hard to tell over here without the light, but the manzano is much lighter than the date banana. And again, this is an apple banana, and it's very much a banana, but it has a fairly distinct apple flavor to it. Just a little bit. I mean, it's subtle, but it's, you know, definitely. I mean, it's funny because people say, well, what's the difference from one banana to the next? Well, every single variety has a different taste. Sometimes it's a slightly different taste. Sometimes it's a very different taste. Sometimes we can't even figure out what the difference is. My favorite banana is the Cuban red bananas. They're purple. They call them here morado, which means purple, because they're purple when they're green. When they're unripe, they're purple. And when they turn ripe, they're an orange-red color. And I've had conversations with people. We can't decide. Are they sweeter? Are they heavier? Are they somehow? I mean, whatever it is, I don't know. But I love the way it tastes and feels. I'm not really sure what it is that makes it different, but it's definitely different. Every single one of them is. Okay, I think we have run out of subjects. I think that's all the fruit we have currently. So I hope that's been useful to you. Do you guys that are here with me have any questions about anything we've covered?
So you said about the pineapple, it's sweet at the bottom and at the top it could be raw. So if you sell one pineapple to two people, same pineapple, but one could get the bottom part and one could get the middle part, the other could get the top part.
Yeah, what I do is...
They all vary. They won't have equal same taste.
It's kind of like how do you have you ever seen what does an elephant feel like?
What?
With a bunch of blind people are explaining what an elephant feels like. They all have different parts of the elephant. Typically what I do is whoever I like the most, I give the bottom part to. No. What I typically do, and I think some of you have seen me do this, is, I mean, now almost all of you here are eating a whole pineapple. Now, if we had two ripe pineapples and two people are going to eat a pineapple, what I would tend to do is peel them both, cut them, and give each of you half of two. So you're both getting the whole experience. If I have two people sharing one pineapple, I would cut it in half this way.
Lengthwise.
So everybody gets some of the bottom and some of the middle and some of the top. Okay, and that's what we always did when I had a bunch of staff and interns eating meals. There would be 7 or 8 of us sometimes, or almost all the time. We would see who's going to have papaya, who's going to have watermelon, and instead of one person grabbing one, like if 2 people were going to have papaya, and sometimes like in the old days, someone would say that looks like the best papaya, and they would grab that one. Well, 3 people are going to have papaya. I would cut it in 3 pieces. And then whoever wants more will cut another one. That way everybody gets to share, right, and have some of the best and some of the next best, and however it might be. So, other questions?
So you do the same with cantaloupe, you cut it.
If 2 people are eating cantaloupe?
Along the median, not along the equator.
Well,
Because you said that it's probably softer and juicier.
No, I didn't say that it was softer at one end than the other. This is just the end. This end is thinner, and this is where you're going to feel some give.
Okay.
Here, it's not that it's any less ripe here. It's just that you're not likely to feel much give there.
Is it going to be more or less uniform?
Should be more or less uniform. Yeah. Cantaloupe should be more or less uniform. not so much of an issue. It's really the only fruit I can think of that has such a vast difference from one part to the next is a pineapple. And it may well be that in an optimal situation, the pineapple, fully ripens all at the same time. But that hasn't been my experience with nearly 8 years living down here. And lots of pineapples cut into. There's usually a significant difference between the bottom and the top. Okay? So if there's no more questions, I guess that'll end it for now. Later on, when we have more options, more things available, we'll do this
I
again.
have one more question.
One more
When will
question.
these ripen?
When will they ripen? This one's going to ripen at 1:17 tomorrow afternoon. This one, it's going to be 5:38 in the morning the next day. Okay? I don't have any idea.
So it
I
could
can't
be
tell you.
easily 3 days or so.
Well, no, most of these should be ready to eat within a couple days at the most. But, and listen, I would love to buy them all looking like this or riper. Unfortunately, it is what it is. You go down to the market and you see what's available and get the best you can, but that's all I can do. So,
Is it good to put one fruit type together instead of mixing up the different fruits?
fruits are kind of cliquish. Yeah, it's just like, it would be fine either way, but the pineapples prefer to hang out with the pineapples. They talk about pineapple stuff that the papayas aren't that interested in, and so, it's just like, they don't, it's not a good party, because they all, I don't know that it makes any difference. I can tell you, and I can't tell you which ones, but I did find out in Panama that we had a lot of stainless steel bowls, because I used to do a lot of food prep classes, and stainless steel bowls are very handy. They're light, they're easy to clean, they're relatively non-reactive, and so I came down with a whole bunch of stainless steel bowls. And when we were busy, and we had 4 interns and 3 or 4 staff people, and we had 14 guests, even 15 a couple times. We didn't really have space for that, and we would have maybe 12 or 13 people eating at one time. We'd have a lot of fruit around, and so we were using these stainless steel bowls. Well, I found out that a lot of fruits don't do well in a stainless steel bowl, and someone subsequently told me, don't store those things in stainless steel. So today, you don't see any stainless steel here, right? Some things sit on the counter just fine. All the rest sit in wood bowls or ceramic bowls or glass bowls, but I avoid using metal as much as I can. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, I hope this has been useful to you. I hope you guys have had a good time. And thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you in about a second when I turn off the camera. Bye-bye.
I want to sample the bananas.